Good morning. I'm Bob, and glad you took just a moment to be here with us. This is a ministry of Tabernacle Baptist Church, in which I'm free to say pretty much anything I want, but then I'm also free to suffer the consequences. So if you're going to give me a minute, what I want to share with you should always be pertinent and to the point. So let me get to the point and be pertinent. In the 12th chapter of Romans, actually in the 13th chapter, in verse 1, the first couple of verses, God's servant Paul, writing scripture, God-breathed scripture, writing the truth, spoke about government and authorities and our relationship to them. Let me just read you this. Everyone must submit himself to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, he who rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. Paul concludes that little section by saying this is also why you pay taxes. For the authorities are God's servants who give their full time to governing. Give everyone what you owe him. If you owe taxes, pay taxes. If revenue, then revenue. If respect, then respect. If honor, then honor. So it's very clear that we are to obey, to submit ourselves to the governing authorities that God has placed over us. Now, here's how it works in America and very, very few other places. Our governing authorities, the preeminent authority, is you, and it's me, because here we have the power to vote and to choose who governs us. And in knowing who people are and what they stand for, then we have the power to decide what kind of governance we want. I have come to a point where I'm not going to say I despise the two-party system, but when neither one really will support or endeavor to try to put forth what the other one wants, when they won't even sit down and listen to one another, then we have an issue. And if it were my choice, and if it were your choice, I'd start all over. I'd fire every last one of them in Congress and the Senate and start all over with term limits. I mean, that would be my choice. But I have to operate within the authority that exists. To me, there's basically two choices. One is a choice to be enslaved through socialism. The other is a choice to be free through our representative democratic republic. And that's what it is. It's not a true democracy. I live in rural Georgia. I don't have any business telling somebody that lives in Manhattan or in Seattle, Washington, how to live their life, what food they need to eat, where they need to go to school, or anything else. I just need for them to be as one with me, that we defend America and we provide freedom and opportunity for everyone. We tend to think, well, if we elect this person or that person, they can solve the problem. This ideology, not idiotology, although it seems like that, this ideology, this worldview of how government should work and relate to each other, if we just do this, everything will be fine. No, it won't. But as Christians, we have the responsibility, since we are the ones in authority, to decide what type of governance we want, as is represented by the people that we put over us. And we choose those people. And our tendency is to think, well, I like this guy, I don't like that guy. This one's personality is abrasive. That one's personality is foul-mouthed. This, it's just one thing and another. It cannot be a personal decision. It needs to be a policy decision, because the laws that we live by, the policies that they put forth, are the ones that will be over us. And it's not just a policy decision, it's a spiritual decision, because no person is going to solve this problem. No person is going to solve what ails America today. except maybe one that they call the Antichrist, and I don't really want to be living under him, no matter how good it may look on the surface. But remember this, in Ephesians 6, when Paul is talking about the armor of God, he says, put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. In other words, what afflicts America is not a political problem, it's not a personal problem, it's not a virus problem, it's not a violence problem, it's a God problem. And we need people in power who believe in God, know they're going to be accountable to him, and will do their dead level best to do right by all mankind, just like they want done right to themselves. As long as the politicians of this country favor themselves by giving themselves obscene pay, obscene benefits, and then expecting you and me to live on the remains of what they have robbed from us, i.e. the Social Security system, as long as they show their cards by how they treat themselves versus how they want to treat us, then you know what to do. Go do it. God bless you. Stay out of the newspaper. It's only 3 reasons to be in the newspaper. 2 of them are really bad. Bye.